Hi everybody, I'm Sarah with One Big Happy Yarn Company. Happy to welcome Ashlee Elle from the Dream Crochet back to our site here today. We're going to be working on this fabulous drawstring pouch project bag. Ashlee, tell us about this project.
Well, I love bags and I love project bags.
Don't we all?
Stuff more yarn in, of course.
Yes.
Why not? So I came up with this idea and I wanted to create, once again, a lot of options and a lot of availability as far as, being able to be created the way that you would like it to be. So it's super easy, super quick, and fun to experiment with.
I love that. I love it. So one of the great things about this project is if you joined us in episode 1 for the skirt cowl, it's the same basic construction until we get towards the end when we actually turn this into a bag. So do you want to walk us through that? Just talk us through that basic construction, Ashlee, and then we can get to where this project differs from the skirt.
Okay, sounds great. So what we're going to do is the same construction as a skirt. We're going to create the waistband for the drawstring. You can make it small, medium, or large, however you want to make it. If you want to put, make a little key pouch, or if you want to put yarn in it, we got you. So it's the same construction as a skirt. You're going to create a waistband for the drawstring, and where you can experiment with, once again, like the skirt, you can utilize as many colors as you want, or you can make it one solid color. So what we're going to do is we're going to start just how we started with creating the waistband first, and then we're going to go into the construction of the bag. And then I'm going to show you how it differs from the skirt by showing you how it encloses, and that way you can fit whatever you want in it, like more yarn.
We always need room for more yarn.
Entirely.
So don't forget, all of the details for the bag construction will be in your pattern. You can pick up your kit at MissouriQuiltCo.com, or you can follow the link in the description below.
Alrighty, we're going to start our round 4, just like the skirt. We're going to be creating with a brand new yarn. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our magic knot, and we're going to insert our hook right at round 3. Now I did a similar design as a skirt where I did changing colors, but I did 2 rounds for each color using 3 colors. So I wanted to mirror the same effect for the skirt, just in case you want it to match up and, have a cute little combo set.
Oh, I love the idea of a set.
Yes, same here. Love it. So what you're going to do is you're going to insert your hook into that first stitch from that chain 3 of the previous round 3 with your brand new color. And what we're going to do is we're going to create our turning chain, because once again for this project, we're going to be using the 3 double crochet clusters in order to create our design. So we're going to do the turning chain of a chain 3 to start. And then with our hook, we're going to do 1 double crochet into that very next stitch. Okay, and similar to the previous construction, we're going to do our skip 2 stitches, and into your 3rd stitch, you're going to create 3 double crochet clusters.
Yeah, so every cluster, 3 double crochets, just the same as we did in that skirt.
Correct.
And again, if you need a little help creating the drawstring band for the bag, or you want a little more time with these double crochet clusters, hop back to episode 1 in our series. There's a link for the playlist in the description below. And we go through the whole skirt construction, which is very similar to the bag until we get to the bottom where we join it all together.
Correct.
So Ashlee, how did you get started crocheting?
I started crocheting right before college. We had a family craft night where we would craft and watch movies. And
I love that.
my family brought in a huge ball of yarn, like tons of yarn, and I was very curious because I always want to make my own hats because I absolutely love hats. I love scarves, and so one of my aunts showed me how to start crocheting. Well, the foundation of it.
Yeah.
And I immediately, no pun intended, but also pun intended, I became hooked.
When you find the craft that makes sense between your fingers and your brain, you are hooked, even if it isn't crochet.
Truly. It was such a spark that, the idea to be able to create and imagine any kind of design that I would like to make, like that just completely took over, you know, basically everything.
I love your fearlessness with your designs, the
thank
way you
you.
combine colors and textures, and you're just like, you know what? This is a shape that I want. I'm just going to go for it. We're going to figure it
yes.
out and make it work as we go.
Entirely. And sometimes, you know, a design doesn't come out the way that I imagined, but, you know, every creation is a learning experience. And I love that, you know, hey, I can always go back and retry a design again, or, you know, whatever came out of it. It's just, hey, that's something brand new that I never even thought of. And it's such a great experience to be able to do that every single time I pick up a crochet hook.
I used to say to my students all the time that I learn more from my mistakes than my successes.
Exactly. You take it row by row, stitch by stitch.
Exactly. So don't be afraid of those imperfections. Don't be afraid of those mistakes. That's what helps you to learn how to be better designers, how to be better crocheters, better knitters, better crafters. Be gentle with yourself. If you've never done this before, there's no way that you know how to do it. So take your time, give yourself a little bit of grace, try it a few times. One of the great things we were talking about with yarn projects is if you are unhappy with what you've just made, this is an almost infinitely reusable resource.
Entirely.
Don't be afraid to take it out and start again, because the reason you're frustrated with it is you've learned something. Something went wrong, you learned something, now you know how to do that better. Go back and restart. You'll be that much happier with the project.
Entirely. And it's okay to start over again, because that's what life is, and it's such a life lesson as well. It's just, you know, something doesn't work out, guess what? You have the opportunity every single time to retry it. If it's 2 times, if it's 4 times, if it's 100 times, guess what? You keep on going at it, and, you know, eventually you'll get there when you're supposed to get there. So that's one of the things I definitely learned with crocheting, is that patience is also an ingredient. And to take your time. And our world is just so fast-paced, and to be able to have that moment of tranquility and serenity within crafting and creating, taking your time to make something, that right there is just, it's truly magical.
Yeah, it's a gift to yourself.
It truly is.
Take it. We don't get many of them in this world.
Truly.
Yeah. So go ahead and work your way through the bag until we get to the bottom, where we're actually going to begin to join it all together, and then meet us back here.
Alrighty, now this is how your bag is going to start to look. Now you can follow the pattern as written, or you can make the bag a little bit longer. You have enough yarn to completely do that. You can even play with the colors a bit. You know, whatever you desire, you can do it.
I love that.
So I'm going to show you how to start to close the bag in. Now there's a lot of different methods to utilize, and I personally like this way because I like how it gradually starts to close, where it's just creating its own design in itself.
Here, let's take a look at the bottom of that. So you can see your line of stitches, and then it just, it almost seems like the bag started on the bottom and we worked our way up to the top, but surprise, it actually started up here at the drawstring and we worked our way down the bag, and now we're gonna close that bottom and give it a nice solid bottom.
Yes. And one of my favorite things to do as well, I tend to like to work until I reach the color that I used at the very beginning, just because I like it to tie in a bit. So I'm going to go right back into rejoining with my green yarn, right into the beginning of the stitch. And this is to start to close my bag. So you're going to rejoin your hook into that very first stitch. And we're going to start our decrease. Now for this technique, we're going to do our turning chain of 3, because we'll still be working with double crochets. So we're going to do a chain 3, and then we're going to double crochet into the very next stitch. Now this is where it differs from the other rounds. Like in the previous rounds, we would do 3 double crochets into the openings right here. But in order to create the decrease, we're going to omit 1 stitch for each opening. So instead of doing 3 double crochets, we're going to be creating 2 double crochets.
Oh, a nice gradual decrease. I like that.
Now I love it because it starts to cinch and create design as it flows in the circle, and you'll start to see it. And at first it might feel like, oh no, it's starting to get a little too close together, but this is a good thing. We love this.
Good.
So what we're going to do is we're going to create our first double crochet into the very next opening space in between the 3 double crochets from the previous round, And then we're going to create our second double crochets into that round.
So we're putting them in the same places, but instead of doing 3, we're just doing 2.
Correct.
That's an
and that'll
easy
create
enough
your
adjustment.
decrease. It's super easy.
I think my brain can remember that.
It's very fun. You'll see it start to kind of form as you proceed down the round. So the next space, we're going to create 1 double crochet, and into that same exact space, we're going to create another double crochet. So a good way to remember is double crochet into that space all around until you get to the very end of that round. And this is to start your decrease for your bag.
Yeah, so go ahead and do those 2 double crochet clusters all the way around in that round, and then meet us back here when you're ready to join.
So now we're approaching that last space, and we're going to create 2 double crochets into that opening. And then right at the very end of that round, we're going to slip stitch into the very top stitch of that chain 3 to close that decrease of a round.
That starts to feel very familiar after a while with this pattern.
Yes.
This is one of those patterns that I feel like really is helpful for new crocheters or someone getting back into crochet, because the stitches themselves are fairly simple.
Yes.
And it's very repetitive, and it's a great pattern for you to begin to learn how to read your stitches. You begin to recognize, like, oh, I know what 3 double crochets look like when they're clustered together, because you've made 100 and 100 and 100 and 100 of them in this pattern. But it goes so quickly, and it's like a meditation.
Exactly. You know, you put on a good show or a good book, and by the time the first chapter, you're made your way. And it's a great project to kind of like, you get into that rhythm, like you said, and it's just the repetitive, and then it becomes like, before you know it, you look down and you're like, oh goodness, look what I made.
Yeah.
And it's such a great feeling, and that's one of the many, many reasons why I love crochet.
Yeah, you start to feel like a real crocheter. Although, don't let anybody tell you that you're not a real crocheter. If you can make loops with a hook, you're a crocheter.
Exactly. If you can make a chain, guess what? You're a crocheter.
Exactly.
All right, so we're approaching the next decrease. Now this one is, we're going to mirror the same technique as the first round with using half double crochets for our decrease. So instead of doing a chain 3 for a half double crochet, we're going to create a chain 2.
Because they're a little bit shorter.
Correct.
So we want a slightly shorter stitch,
Yes.
turning chain to start.
So we're going to half double crochet into the next stitch. And the reason why we're doing this stitch is to start to really see visually the decrease for the bag. And we want to create a very tight feeling and security for the bottom of the bag, because, you know, you'll be putting tons of yarn in it. So we definitely want to make sure that it's secure to hold.
Ashlee is anticipating so many projects living in this bag for you.
100%. That's here to help you. So we're going to mirror the previous round, but this time we're going to do 1 half double crochet into the opening from the previous round. So we're just going to do 1 half double crochet. And now you'll really start to see, once you go around, you'll see the bag really start to cinch. And that's, once again, that's exactly the look that you're looking for. So we're going to do 1 half double crochet into all of the openings for the entire round.
Oh, this is going to go really fast.
Oh, yes. And the best thing, too, is there's so many different ways to decrease and create, you know, a certain look for closing a bag. And I tend to like to emulate the stitches that were already utilized within the pattern to familiarize yourself with it, and also for the construction and the design and the look of it, it makes it look cohesive.
Then it all flows together.
Correct. So we're going to create 1 half double crochet into all of those openings, and you'll definitely start to see your bag start to close in.
So you'll want to work those half double crochets all the way around in this round, and when you're ready to join us back here.
And now this is how your bag will start to look. And a quick tip too, I also utilize this technique for my hats as well.
Oh yeah, this would make a great. Oh,
See, like it looks a little hat.
if
See?
you make this the right size, you could wear it as a hat. I love
See?
how flexible these patterns are.
See, I love versatility. I love option. I love creativity. All right, so we're approaching that last opening. You're going to create 1 half double crochet into that last stitch. And then we're going to do the slip stitch into the top stitch of that chain 1 from the start of the round to close for that round. And you'll be able to see it start to close in. That circle is going to start to get smaller and smaller as we go around. And once we close the bag, we're just going to keep on going in rounds until it's closed.
This is so great.
For this final round, we're going to do a single crochet, 2 stitches together to create our final decrease.
Ooh.
So what you want to do is you're going to insert your hook to single crochet 2 stitches together.
So in the stitch, bring up a loop, in the next stitch, bring up a loop, and then finish them together.
Correct.
Classic single crochet decrease.
Yes. So we're going to single crochet 2 stitches together, and that creates a decrease. That'll start to really bring the bag together.
The abbreviation for that in your pattern is one of my favorite abbreviations.
I love that one.
In crochet, it's SC, the number 2.
TOG.
SC2 tog. Single crochet 2 together.
It's one of my favorite abbreviations. So we're going to single crochet for this final round.
Oh, it gets tight at the end.
Yep, and it starts to get, you can start seeing the bag start to close, and you're gonna have to start using your hands like how at the very beginning when you were creating your chain and you kind of had to twist it. So this is where you're gonna have to kind of hold your bag in order to get those single 2 crochets together. For the final slip stitch into the beginning of the round, and this is a trick that I like to do, you wanna create your slip stitch. Before you cut off, what I like to do is I like to cut off a long strand of yarn. Now you can use your crochet hook or you can use a yarn needle. I like to sew a lot, so I like to use my yarn needle whenever I possibly can. So I fasten off my long strand. And you see that it's a little bit of an opening right there for your bag. And what I do is I turn the bag inside out. And I grab that long strand that we just cut off, and I thread it with my yarn needle. And what you want to do is you're going to crisscross through the stitches. And I find this way to really secure the bottom of the bag even more. Because even with creating the decrease all the way to the end, I like to go in and I like to kind of add more security to the bottom of the bag because we don't want that yarn falling out.
No, that would be a tragedy.
So you can go either way that you want to, but I crisscross those final stitches in order to secure the bag in place.
Oh, and then you're on the inside and it's the
Yep.
perfect time to weave in all your ends.
It's perfect. So you just keep on weaving, crisscrossing, and then once
Well, it
those
feels
final
good.
stitches are finally done, you can just cut off your yarn, flip it right back over in your bag.
I feel like I made a bag for like an Easter egg.
Or you could put yarn needles in them too.
I could do that. Stitch
Yes.
markers. Very cute. And so then for this bag, you made your drawstring in a different color so that it popped against against the that eyelet, those eyelet rows up at the top.
Yes.
Oh, that is really cute, Ashley.
Thank you.
I love it. And yes, just in case you don't think yarn actually fits in this nice little bag, there are 4 skeins of yarn in here. 4 full skeins of yarn.
Yep.
That's a nice big project. Oh, I love this little bag, Ashley.
Thank you so much.
It's so cute. All right, if you have not yet picked up a kit, you can do that right now by going to MissouriQuiltCo.com or by following the link in the description below. Remember, there's this episode, there's the skirt episode that came before. Again, the link for the playlist is in the description below. And you're gonna wanna join us for the final project in our colorful crochet series with Ashley, and that is this beautiful poncho that we're gonna make in our next episode. Pick up a kit, get to stitching, join us back here. Happy crocheting!